Hello everyone. So in the previous video we have discussed about what exactly is operators and the operands. So the next topic is expressions. How do you use the expressions in the Python programming language? What exactly is the expression? So in general, what is expression? So expression is a combination of values, variables and the operators. When you have a one particular statement and if it contains values, variables and the operators, that can be called as the expressions. Okay. So we say a value by itself can be considered an expression. For example, you say we have a value 17 here. This can also be considered as an expression. And so is a variable can also be considered as an expression. So the following are the legal expressions. So this can be called as the legal expression. 17 is also expression, x is also extraction, x plus 17 is also extraction. If you type an expression in interactive mode, the interpreter evaluates it and displays the results. So we have a chevron prompt here. When you want to perform the addition of these two numbers, 1 plus 1, so it is giving obviously giving the output as 2. Okay, but in the script an expression all by it doesn't do anything. So this is a common source of confusion for the beginner. So when you write in the script, you have to perform some print statement, then only it will give the output. Okay, so that is the meaning of the expressions and how to use the expressions in the Python. Okay, next topic is order of the operations. When you have a multiple operators in any expressions or operations in the multiple expression, how do you perform? What is the order? How do you evaluate them? Okay, so when we have more than one operators appears in the expression, the order of the evaluation depends on the rules of the precedence. So this rules of precedence is when you very important when you evaluate the expression. Okay, for mathematical operators, Python follows the following convention, that is PEMDAS. Okay, so that is parenthesis, exponential, multiplication and division, addition and subtraction. Okay, so this is the rule of precedence what we are following to perform or evaluate any expression. Okay, so this is the order of operations which is performed. So the first one is parenthesis. So parenthesis will always have the highest precedence and it can be used to force an expression to evaluate in the order you want. Okay, so since the expressions in the parentheses are evaluated first, you can look at this example. When I have 2 into within the parentheses I have 3 minus 1. So the first expressions operation should be performed as this 3 minus 1. So 3 minus 1 is 2. So 2 into 2 is 4. This is the output. So in the similar way, when you have this multiple parentheses, then you go with the left to right associativity. So 1 plus 1 will be performed first, and then it goes to 5 minus 2, and then it 1 plus 1 is 2, and then 5 minus 2 is 3. Okay, so it gives the 3 power 2. So 3 power 2 will be 8. Okay, so that is the order of the evaluation which is done. We can also use the parenthesis to make an expression easier to read, and as infine as that, for example, say you have minute into 100 divided by 60. So minute into 100 will be performed first and then divided. It doesn't change the result. Next one is exponential as the next highest precedence. Okay, here look at this example, 2 exponentiation of 1 and then 1. Okay, so it is gonna give you 2 power 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3. Okay, so this is the correct order of this expression. Next precedence is given for multiplication and division. Okay, so this multiplication and division will be have the same precedence but associativity is left to right. Okay, 2 into 3 minus 1. Okay, so this is going to give you 5. Okay, next one is operators, multiplication, division, then addition and then subtraction. So operators with the same precedence are evaluated from left to right. Okay, whenever you have the operators with the same precedence, you have to evaluate it from the left to right. So when you have expression 5 minus 3 minus 1, so how do you evaluate the order here? First 5 minus 3 will be calculated. 5 minus 3 is 2, 2 minus 1 is 1. So that is how you follow the order of the precedence. Okay, so this is the rules of the precedence which must be followed in the Python programming language. Next one is modulus operator. Okay, how do you use the modulus operator? So the modulus operator obviously works on the integers. Make sure this modulus operator will only work on integer numbers and yields the remainder when the first operator is divided by the second one. Okay, so in the Python, modulus operator is percent sign. Okay, so now the syntax is same for the operator. So how do you use the modulus operator is 7 mod 3. So 7 mod 3 is 3 divides by 6, so 3 2s are 6 and the remainder is 1, so this is going to give the remainder. So when you want the quotient 7, fluorine function, and then see this gives the quotient here. Okay, that is how we use the modulus operator. Next one is string operations. How do you use the string operations? How you use the plus operators, the add operator, that is called the plus operator. It works with the string, but it is not addition in the mathematical sense. Okay, instead it performs the concatenation, which means joining the strings by linking them end to end. For example, how to join the strings. Okay, for example, say I have a first is equals to 10, second is equals to 15. So when I want to join them, it will showing, for example, it is an integer number, print first plus second, so 10 plus 15 is 25. If it is a string in case, so first is equals to 100, in quotes it is mentioned the value, so it is a string, so it is going to join these values, that is concatenate 100 then 150 100 150. And the same way you can also use the multiply operator. So this operator works with the strings by multiplying the content of the string by an integer. For example, you have first is equals to test and second is equals to 3. This is string and this is integer. So when you perform this operation, what would be this? Print first into second. So what does it do? It prints the test thrice. Test and test. Okay, so this is how we can perform the string operation. Next one is asking the user for the input. Okay, so instead of you directly giving the input somewhere, you want the user to ask the input. So for example, you want the user to ask what is your name. Okay, then how to ask, what is the prompt you have to use. Okay, so this Python provides a built-in function that is called input. Okay, that gets the input from the keyboard. Okay, when this function is called, the program stops and waits for the user to enter the input or do something. So when the user presses the return or the enter, the program resumes and the input returns what the user types. Okay, for example, say I have variable name input, inp is equals to input. So this is the built-in function, what it is used for asking the user input. So user input is some silly input. Now I want to print this user input. What do you do? Print of inputs. So you will get the same output here. Okay, you can pass the string to input to be displayed to the user before passing for the input. How you can do that? For example, say name is equals to input of what is your name. So what it is going to do? It will ask what is your name and it will ask, wait for the user to enter the name. So when you print that particular name, the output should be checked. Okay, so that is how you give the user input. Okay, next one is comments. Whenever you have a comments, how do you write the comments in the Python programming language? So what is the necessity of the comments? So whenever there is a complex program and you want to understand what is the meaning of each line or what is the meaning of this particular code snippet, then you can just write in the comment line for the other users to understand. Okay, so in the Python usually comment starts with the hash symbol. Okay, so now look at this example. I have percentage is equals to minute into 100. As a programmer, I can understand the meaning of this, but as a reader or some other user, you will be not knowing what is the meaning of this. So you want to know the exact meaning of this, we can just write in the commands, that is hash compute the percentage of hour that has been elapsed. Okay, so in the same way, for example, I have v is equals to 5. So what is the meaning of this? Assign 5 to v. Okay, so if you write in the comments, it will be easy for the other users to understand. Next topic is choosing the mnemonic variables. What do you mean by this mnemonic variable? Mnemonic variables are nothing but the job is same, but the user doesn't understand what is the meaning of this. For example, say I have a is equals to 35, b is equals to 12.50, c is equals to a into b. What does the Python thinks? Its job is just perform the instructions what has been given. Okay, by the user, what in the user's perspective, we can say we have simply values assigned and it performs the multiplication. Okay, but whereas when you write the mnemonic variables like this, hours is equals to 3.35, rate is equals to 12.10, then we can say we are computing the rate. Okay, the user can understand we are computing the rate. You can also write in the other different way using the different variables here. You can have a look at this x1 q3. Okay, the Python just want the perfect way of writing. It doesn't mean how the user understand. Okay, that is how we choose the mnemonic variable. So you should write variables in such a way that user understand easily those variable names. So this is about how do you write the variables, expressions and the statements in the Python. Thank you.